Hi friends, it's Velvet. I am here with the finished Stamperia book junk journal. I finished everything. Today is Sunday, so I finished everything this weekend, and I didn't take it through the final bits because I was just kind of on a roll, and I just didn't feel like taking you through all that little nitty-gritty last stuff. And I did just today finish the cover, so this is how this turned out. And I did use all the Stamperia stuff for the cover. These are the chipboard things, and I used my glue gun to do that. Now on these pieces here, I colored the tops and sides with one of the Tim Holtz, the Distress watercolor pencil in the Scorched Timber, so that it would have kind of a green. I did not do that on the picket fence because it's supposed to be white. So I decided to keep it white. You can see some of the glue, but I mean, there's no getting around that. Here's how the spine turned out, and the back I had already shown you, I think. So, and it's 3 signatures. What I ended up using for the signatures to put them in is fishing tackle, believe it or not. I wanted this to be as thin as I possibly could get it, so that it made... I didn't want to have to cover this, is what I'm trying to get at. I wanted to keep this book as intact as possible, and I didn't want to have to cover this. But I still could if I wanted to. So, you know, I could take like a wider piece. Like, I mean, I could even do that and cover that if I decided that I didn't actually like the way that binding looked. It turned out okay though, I think. All right, here we go. So this is how the inside turned out. There is, I don't want to, this is for the, you know, for the person who gets it to discover. I don't want to do anything, but I found a thing of postcards that I thought would be really pretty to put into this book. So I thought that would be, you know, something nice to put in there. I want to make sure that they can get it out. But there's that. And then I put this here because I did not like the crease showing, so I did it on both sides. And it's kind of cute having that. So here they are all sewn in, and I'll just kind of go through quickly so that you don't get bored. You know, I've got some pockets here and there, and I've tried to include a lot of pockets because these pages are busy and they're going to be difficult to write on, I think, in some circumstances. I myself, if it were me, I would probably use a black Sharpie and write anyway. These are really thick pages, so you can write with a black Sharpie, like even like a medium. I think, let me just see something here. Like, this is not a black Sharpie, but it would work. Like, even that tip, I think, would work on something like this and not go through. So if it were me, I would probably write on these pages with that, and then just use like a gel pen, a black gel pen on, you know, the coffee dyed. That's me. And then I did include these double-sided tags. I did not decorate them because I think they're so pretty on their own, but I did include the postcards so that the recipient can use the postcards to write on. And in most cases I left the coffee dyed paper plain so that they can have more writing space. I did sew a little bit of that chiffon on here. And this I just did, you know, just a little scrap that I had sitting here. This is the little notepad that I put together. I love how that turned out. I think I'll sit here and do a make of those because they're just so cute. And all it takes really is one piece of scrap, you know, double-sided paper if you want, and then a bunch of like cardstock or even coffee dyed paper to make that. And I clipped it in. And then I just made a belly band here. I made a few of them throughout the book so that I could put some paper in. This is some piano roll that I just flattened and, you know, just kind of folded up so they can use it as journal paper. This one I love. I love how this turned out, the way I made this little scrunched up thing. I just think that turned out really cute. So, but I didn't want it in the front. I wanted it to be in the middle because I actually really love how this first page turned out. I don't know what it is about it, but I just really like that. So there's this, and then another tuck space with one of those postcards. And then I tried to decorate with some, you know, some lace that I had sitting here just to make it even more feminine looking. This is one of those folded over papers, and these are those double-sided Stamperia things that I cut out. See, just a little decoration there and there. This can be written on easily. I put a couple of envelopes in and just put some folded paper in there to write on. Some more little tags here. Again, and then this I just kind of tucked a couple pieces of paper in here that they can write on. And then this little envelope I just put another piece of paper to write on. Of those. This is a very decorative book, and that's why you don't see a whole lot of extra decorations, because it is such a busy book. This is just some squiggly little, you know, sewing that I put on in there. This I just did some modeling paste on an old piece of music and just tucked it in under some old lace. I just love all this paper. I think it's so pretty. Oh, I think our Amazon is here. Some more pretty little tags and another envelope that I have put some paper in this time that can be written on. That will be for the person to pull out and find. I have attached a postcard here, and on the other side just some paper that they can write on. And there's another one of those little tag things. Another postcard. This one kind of sticks out a little bit. I kind of like that though. And then here's the back cover with another one of those postcards. So see, that was pretty quick, but I really like how the cover turned out, so three-dimensional. And I only did that with the hot glue gun. I just put it on pretty thick so that it would stand out from the background and not kind of get buried in there. So that is that. So let me know what you think. I think it turned out nice. I'm very pleased with how this turned out. And now I have to clean off my desk. I think the next video will be a haul. I've gotten just a few little things here and there, mostly like Amazon stuff. And I did find a big box of stuff that I think when I was first cleaning out down here and rearranging things. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. I didn't know what to do with a bunch of stuff, so I just started putting stuff into this box. And I found a ton of like Temu and AliExpress kind of stuff, like real old stuff that I forgot I had. So it'll be kind of fun to maybe do some 5-minute crafts or use that stash kind of videos with that stuff. So that'll be coming up as well. Yeah, so I guess that's it. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you. Take care. Bye.